My name is Capo. Let's hear for Dave Hughes, everyone!
Man fun!
Woo! All right, thank you, everybody. Thank you. As Will said, my name is Dave. And as we come to the end of the year here, I just want to let you guys in on kind of my world. We come to the end of the year. I am working on my New Year's resolutions for the upcoming 2020 year. My number one resolution, stop meeting up with guys from Craigslist. Although I do appreciate you coming out tonight, sir. I don't want to get up on stage and brag about. I don't want to be an asshole up here. So the last thing that I wanted to do is to brag about how I'm doing financially as a comedian. That being said, I do have to let you know that at 1 month shy of my 30th birthday, I did just finish moving back in with my parents.
Aww.
So things are going great. I'm back in my hometown now, so I joined a gym in my hometown. So far things are going fine. I like it, it's fine. There are a few things I wish that they would have told me prior to signing up. Like for example, I wish they would have said that depending on when I come to work out, I might end up, seeing my t-ball coach's grotesque old man penis. You know how they do that like tour before you actually sign up? Like, oh, here's the cardio equipment, here's the locker room, here's Mr. Stevenson's acorn chode. We do offer some premium services for the low price of accidentally making eye contact. We will include his forced political agenda. He's got some views on Semitism, and they are anti. I also don't like to do political humor on stage. That being said, here's my problem with Scooby-Doo. Either the dog talks or it doesn't. That joke never lands, but once you write it, I just have questions now. Anyway, I want to let you guys in. I want to tell you something about me. I do have a girlfriend. It's pretty new. We've been together for a year, just to be clear, but this is, wanting to tell people is what's new. We met on a dating app called Hinge, if you guys aren't familiar with it. And I'll be honest with you guys, I'm a pretty fucking dynamite boyfriend, like a fucking hard 10. And so all of her friends are constantly, they know we met on Hinge, and yet they are constantly asking me, Dave, where do we find a guy like you? And I can't tell you how sick I am of telling them, right here, I'll cheat. I don't give a fuck. We met on the internet, this can't even be real. What's fucked up is she's actually here tonight with her mom. And this is the first time they've heard that joke, so if anybody here is an Uber driver, I might need a ride after the show to her friend's apartment.
Her hot friend.
I've lived in Boston my whole life. I kind of grew up here in the Boston area, and I have a lot of friends that they come to visit from out of town. And they love to come and visit during the fall because they like to see all these colors. And they always ask me the same question. Let's say, Dave, how do you guys do it around here? How do you get all these Orange Line trains to smell like fucking feces? Holy shit! The smell of feces on that train. If you guys aren't familiar, now first of all, Boston notoriously, we have the worst public transportation. Fun fact about the Orange Line, if you aren't familiar with it, it is the last active train in the United States that apparently operates in a decommissioned sewer system. Of course, we've then got the Red Line. The Red Line, I think the new higher orientation, they're changing it up a bit. And they're really encouraging the conductors to be loose with how they define the term tracks. Just get out there and explore the space, guys. And then there's the Green Line, and the Green Line's the fucking worst. And let's be clear about this. The Green Line doesn't suck because it stops every 15 feet. That's not a bug, that's a feature. Okay? Who amongst us hasn't flopped their torso out of bed and then wheelbarrowed their way across the room with your toes just on the tip of the edge there, and then back, just so that you didn't have to get up, walk 6 feet, and get your charger. If you could have paid $225 to have your bed slide 6 feet across your room and back, you'd have fucking done it. The reason that the green line sucks is this. What idiot designed that thing and thought it needed a fucking flight of stairs? This idiot had no idea why we're even taking the train in the first place, man. I don't want to use my feet. That's like if you push the button on an elevator, the doors opened and a fucking ladder was inside. It's nonsense. I'll leave you with this story here. I've learned that I'm not very good at dealing with awkward situations. And to be clear, it's not that I can't avoid them. What ends up happening is I can avoid them, but in my clamor to avoid this shitty awkward situation, I generate this other shitty awkward situation that I end up just sidestepping into, and then I gotta deal with that one. I'll give you an example. A couple weeks ago, I saw a guy that I was like 90% sure that I knew his name, but I couldn't be certain. The thing that sucked is I had met this guy like 5 times, so it was somebody who I definitely should have known his name, but didn't. That alone isn't awkward. What's awkward is this guy was not white. And the name that I had in my head was such a stereotypical name for his race that it was a borderline racist slur. You know what I'm talking about? Like if you saw a guy who was Indian and you're like, oh, hey, Apu. Or if you saw like somebody who looked Hispanic, like, hey, Jose. If you saw someone who looked like me and you're like, hey, why are you alone at this playground? That sort of thing. This guy happened to be black, and in my head, the name was Jamal. I know how it sounds. I'm also in the future. But so what I did is I took the easy way out, and I went up to him and I was like, hey man, this is awkward. I know we've met like 5 times. I should definitely know your name. We've met through Kyle, I get it. I just don't know your name, man, I'm sorry. And he goes, you know what, I'm glad you said that because I forget your name too, man. And I go, oh, thank God. Well, my name's Dave. And he says, Dave, it's good to see you again. My name's Jamal. Which would have been fine, except then I just, without skipping a beat, go, I fucking knew it, man. I should have said Jamal. And he didn't say anything, but in his eyes, he was like, this racist motherfucker thinks all black guys are named Jamal. 2 weeks later, I saw that same guy. And I wanted him to know that I'm not a racist piece of shit. So I ran up and I was like, hey, Jamal. And he goes, I'm Gary. Because that was a different guy.
Oh.
That's all I got for you tonight, guys. Thank you very much.